We all have stories. Stories inspired by culture, competition, creativity. Stories show our humanity. They inspire us to greatness and remind us to be humble. Stories connect us to our communities and the rest of the world. We are the Chutta people, and these are our stories. See and share them at togetherwe'remore.com.
People don't know what it is to be champions. Oklahoma invented it.
I'm muted. Welcome to Through the Keyhole. I am your host this week, Peyton Guthrie. Brady's not able to join us, so usually with a Peyton Guthrie hosted show, it's going to be a bit chaotic. But remember, chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder. Many who try to climb it fail and never get to try it again. The fall breaks them, and some are never given a chance to climb. They refuse. They cling to the realm where the gods or love illusions. Only the ladder's real. The climb is all there is. As sung by the late, great well, not late, great. As sung by Miley Cyrus in the song from the hit song, The Climb. How's it going, everybody? For the Keyhole fans, you're joining this live. This one's a live for everyone this month. We'll start off by our general introductions, because if you're just listening for the podcast, that chaotic intro will be lost upon you. We've got Matt. We've got Alan. Matt is able to join us even though the Thunder are playing tonight. I guess they're already waving the white flag of surrender to the conquering San Antonio Spurs. Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Yeah, just chalk this up for another win for the Spurs, and the Thunder falling to an abysmal 34-8 after this. So we'll see. But yeah, OU basketball, big game tonight in the LNC against the defending champs, Florida, and it's not going well for OU basketball, if you can imagine that.
I could imagine it. Sad to hear that. As a Spurs fan, extremely excited Dort isn't playing, so I don't have to worry about him shot blocking Wemby again. So should be hopefully get out of Oklahoma City with injury free there. And then we've got Alan Kinney. Alan, how's the East Coast? How's the weather in your neck of the woods?
Oh man, it's cold. There's been very little. It's been unrelenting, but still I persist. So I'm here, ready to rock, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, we had a nice chilly 65 degrees here today. Starting off in the 20s, but getting very, very warm, having to take the jacket off after the morning walk on that side. But before we jump into everything, we're going to hit up our sponsors. Thank you to our title sponsor, the Choctaw Nation. You saw the Main Together or More commercial as we started the live stream, and as you listen to the podcast, togetherormore.com. Listen, see, and share the stories of our Choctaw tribal members. Tell their stories, inspiration, and their impact on their communities. We actually had a group go up to Stillwater for the Bedlam Duels, in which Oklahoma lost 37-0 against OSU. So maybe we can find $500,000 for OU wrestling in the NIL budget. Maybe we can figure that out and get something going. And also we have a Kaizen performance. Go get jacked, guys. Go work out. Go get jacked. Let's see what's going on. You can always support us directly over on patreon.com/throughthekeyhole. Greatest website in the world. But if you want to support us by just giving us attention and just giving us interactions and sharing stuff, go to keyholepod.com. Go check out everything Alan writes over there, as well as anything that pops up via any extra podcast or extra writing that may come up on keyholepod.com. Now that our home field seasonal advertising is over, we can mention that if you go to keyholepod.com and you click the merch tab, we also have t-shirts. Go check those out. T-shirts highlighting famous games in OU lore and OU history. We have a shirt for the Taco Bowl, a shirt for the running clock game, and a shirt for the Big Text burning game. There is one in the works for the OG Flant flag planting. Keep an eye out for that. We'll be promoting that when that gets designed and sent out. And also like, review, share, do all the stuff. Force people to do it via major societal shame. But let's get into this. Oklahoma has had somewhat of an eventful week. We have still informally fired Joe John Finley, and we have now informally hired Jason Witten as a tight end head coach. Unless I've missed something, unless there's been actual announcements either way on that.
I think
from
Jim.
University
I
of
did
Oklahoma.
see. I did see that Jim Nagy had put out like a tweet about Witten. So I don't know if that's considered official or not, or if that was in response to anything. But just FYI.
Well, if the president of the United States can do it, so can Jim Nagy. We'll use that as a
Jim
law
Nagy
now.
hereby declares.
Yeah. Thank you for your attention to this matter on that side. But hired as a new tight ends coach from University of Oklahoma, joining another former Dallas Cowboy as a Denver Broncos fan and staunch Dallas Cowboy hater. This pains me. I've tossed some Brady into this. I saw Brady put a comment that he's still listening to us. He has very little coaching experience, I believe coaching at a high school level down in Texas, but now heads up a position group that is desperate of improvement. And you would assume a potentially Hall of Famer at that position would be able to impact some improvement or change, or potentially be able to see some body types and stuff he would like to see in recruiting or in the portal for 2007 and on. I guess the big knock on Jason Witten is that he's a former player. He hasn't really coached, has never coached in college, has never really coached anything at a big-time program, was coaching in high school. I guess I'm going to toss it over to you, Alan. Does the credentials of former player, is that enough for you? Would you like to have seen more? Or does this hire check enough boxes for you, for Jason Witten to be, as college football, it's always hype, it's always moving around or something like that. Is it enough for you to check that hype box for college football?
Well, I mean, again, I feel like the talent hasn't been there in that position for a while. And so if he can just start by, catching the eye of some really talented tight end prospects, that would be a pretty good way to go to start off, right? Again, he also doesn't have a particularly high bar to clear when it comes to the state of the position prior to his arrival. I don't know. I mean, obviously it feels a little gimmicky. But the thing about it is that it seems like Jason Witten is one of these guys who gets a lot of chances. I mean, he was made Monday Night Football lead analyst, right, for a year without really having any experience in that. It sounds like he's done fairly well as a high school coach. A position coach on the college level is a different can of worms, though. So if he has, real aspirations, though, to move up in the coaching world, the good news is you got to think that he'll be taking it seriously, Yeah,
I mean, you'd hope so. I mean, but just from my side of it, Jason Witten, potential Hall of Famer. I'm going to put it there. I saw some OU fans really hyping him up, saying the best tight end in NFL history. Is okay, calm down. Not even the best in the time when he was playing, but still very good tight end. Has some grit to him, obviously as a player. And you would assume tight ends in the region would want to play for somebody like that, right? Someone with those connections, someone who would have that ability to coach them and would understand the dedication or the sacrifice needed to be successful on that. And again, this one, Brady, you're still listening. This one's for Brady. Examples of former players who became good coaches. You've got Bob Stoops. You got Nick Saban. We have a list that goes on, and the Harbaughs.
Look, every coach probably played. I guess Mike Leach is an exception, right? But I mean, at some level beyond high school, my guess is the vast majority of coaches played.
And I think the qualifier being on there is because you had the thing that sticks out if you're certain men of a certain age, right? Is Michael Jordan. The greatest ever to go. Couldn't identify talent if his life depended on it, on that side of it. And is there something to worry about on that side? Do you think, I'll toss over the map first, do you think a great player, a great former player, has a shade over their eyes potentially when looking at talent or players, or able to relate to them, where it's like, yeah, why didn't you just do the great thing that I used to do? Is there something in the way of that, or is that kind of smoke and mirrors, and we're only doing a selection bias? The famous tweet of the airplane coming back of all the bullet holes, and they're like, maybe the ones without the shots are the ones who didn't come back, so on and so forth. But what are your thoughts on former great players becoming good / great coaches, or maybe front office personnel?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because like Larry Bird was the coach at the Pacers for a while.
That's
and
the
like
one I was going to use. Yeah,
I was gonna say, I mean, they did some good things. Like, it wasn't great. He didn't go win a title or anything like that.
Got very close.
Got very close to doing it. So like that's kind of the main example, right, of like a true great of your game. Having some success, somewhat success there. I mean, the same thing applied. Like you said it, Peyton. It's just like, hey, why can't you do it the way that I did it? Right. I mean, I think that's sort of the thing. I think the other thing is how many great players, like truly, truly great players, want to coach. Like, I mean, it doesn't seem like there's a lot. I mean, like, it feels like not that maybe that they're smart enough not to get into coaching. They're like, I don't really want to do that. Or, the truly great ones have made a bunch of money and they're like, I don't, why do I want to do this? I already paid my dues, if you will, to this game. And it paid off in a big way. I don't want to, go back into coaching. So I was surprised that was, when Jason Witten was hired, even when he was thrown out there, I was like, it feels like a long shot, but like a guy that's done that much in the game, does he really want to be a position coach at a college, right? And he's literally, like, as we're speaking right now, a finalist for this Hall of Fame class in the NFL right now. So, it's one of those things. I think that for me is what I always lean to, just like, why do these guys even want to coach, right? I mean, like, why it just feels like they've paid their dues. But yeah, I mean, that is always the big question, right? Is like, how will you handle coaching when guys aren't Jason Witten, when you're coaching guys who aren't Jason Witten, who aren't these all-time greats at their position. And I was about to say the only one across all sports, it feels like, is Larry Bird with the Pacers, I think.
And I'll push back on Larry Bird playfully and say, he was a coach for 3 years, agreed to 3 years, was it 3 years, made it to the conference final every year, made it to the final, made it to the NBA finals once, I think.
That sounds right.
But I would argue, well, yeah, because he hired Carlisle. On that side of it. The other one I really, really into, now this isn't a coach, but Ozzie Newsome, long-staffed general manager, executive president of the Ravens, NFL Hall of Famer, college football Hall of Famer, was tight end for Alabama Crimson Tide, played for Bear Bryant, I think, or at least Bear Bryant has a quote about him. So did very, very, very well on that perspective, or front office side on that. So while I can't immediately think how many great players have become great position coaches, but again, like you're saying, like, they've made all these millions of dollars. Honestly, why is Jason Witten doing this? Unless it's maybe of something like, hey, I get the quote unquote potential, maybe chance to coach my son in college football. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe that's a nice little twofer if Oklahoma's able to get Cooper Witten, currently the number 1 rated linebacker in the 2027 class, who Oklahoma was already doing a really good job with on that side of it. But Alan, I did not put this on the keynotes, but it made me think about something, because no one thought about Jason Witten, from my understanding. I mean, people were saying it, but it was like Facebook memes, and then like Parker and George and all of them were like, you got to stop tagging me in this. This isn't real. And then it happened. And no fault of their own. I saw that stuff and I'm like, wow, people are stupid. Yeah. Look at me, the dumbest guy you know. Do you think this is because I'm winding around now. I was doing my research. I was like, okay, there's Ellis. He was at Washington State with Ben Arbuckle, and there's this other guy who was at UTSA. And I was like trying to put some stuff together. Who would have been in Ben Arbuckle's network? Jason Witten's not on that list.
No.
Do you think this is now maybe a peek behind the curtain to say, I think the GM might be making these hires, or how? My assumption is it's a collaborative effort on that, but Jason Witten's not like in the coaching tree of Brent Venables or anybody that's connected to the OU staff, other than he's pretty good friends with DeMarco Murray. Does this reveal anything to you for the maybe the authority structure or the org chart for the Oklahoma front office?
Yeah, I mean, yes, he has no connection to the offensive coordinator. Now, that isn't necessarily a reflection on the state of things, right? I mean, Bob Stoops, for example, hired his own people, right? I mean, he certainly took recommendations from, members of his staff. But looking at this, though, yeah, you would think that this decision came from, somebody outside the coaching staff, that being Jim Nagy. But I mean, who knows? It's not, you can't, my guess is it was more along the lines of Nagy had input on what happened. But you can't make the head coach just accept a position coach in my mind. Maybe you can, but I think it'd be a bad process if you do. My guess is that this is a decision that Brent Venables was actually on board with.
Yeah, that'd be my assumption too. Is him being on board of it? Like I would assume how everyone in the University of Oklahoma spoke about any of their processes is that it's extremely has a strong collaboration across the board, across the front office, and the coaching staff. So I would assume that's continuing on that side. But as all these articles keep getting written, everyone keeps talking about how Oklahoma's adopted an NFL style.
Yeah.
Maybe Brent Venables is just coaching the guys. He doesn't have to worry about anything else. And honestly, maybe that's good. Who am I to say coaches should have a firm grasp on contracts or NIL stuff as well, or any of the other things when they just need to be focused on coaching on that side. Oklahoma has so far pretty good 2 weeks in the portal. Oklahoma's taken 13 total players, averaging about 3.3 star rating according to 247, while losing 27 players, so about twice the number of players Oklahoma's taken in, at an average of 3.14 average star rating via 247. Some of those are a little iffy in my mind, some of those ratings. The portal rankings get a little weird in there. I wouldn't classify, this is just for Oklahoma State, I don't know if I'd classify the UNT quarterback as a 5-star player. I think he's great at what he did, but I'm not sure if I'd classify him as a 5-star on that. But they do, and so they have some people who are listed oddly, and that's probably just difficult trying to qualify talent in the portal. Matt, we've seen all this stuff. I mean, what positions do you think Oklahoma still needs to kind of bolster or strengthen, while this portal window remains open during this short amount of time? There's only a few more days. Is that right?
Right. Yeah. The 16th is when it is done. And then there's a special window for Indiana and Miami players from the 20th to the 24th. I don't know. For me, they signed or they got a commitment from an interior defensive lineman out of Georgia State by way of Florida State and Colorado, and then Georgia State. So he's on his fourth school in 4 years. But defensive line was one that I had my eye on, and then guys, the longer it goes on, I just don't know about linebacker. Right? I mean, you got the Cole Sullivan kid. Feel really good about that, but you lose Cody McKenzie, you lose Samuel Masigo. Who knows what the hell is going to happen with Owen Heineke? But the longer it goes on, it feels like it's not going to go that way. Kip Lewis still has a decision to make, so there's a lot kind of up in the air in that linebacking room. And then I don't know if like adding someone here, because I think we have our answer that they're not. They added one player to it, but Maybe a little surprised that they didn't go after a running back as hard as they did. Maybe they just are really sold on the Avant kid from Colorado State, or they're just sold on like, hey, you know, we got this freshman coming in who's really talented, and if X and Torrey Blaylock can stay healthy, we like what we're doing there. But you know, I was a little surprised on that. But I mean, yeah, like what they did with receiver. So I don't know. To answer your question, I would say linebacker, maybe another defensive tackle, maybe, and then probably still got to get some more bodies in the tight end room because I mean you added 2, but that room is pretty depleted right now.
Yeah, I think your point about running back is kind of particular. That they take in one. I didn't even put the list on there. Avant from a Colorado State, but you do have the 4-star Jonathan Hatton from Texas. There, highly rated, top 100 player according to 247. Either the 5th or 4th rated running back in the nation. And as we know, running backs and wide receivers can just play like immediately. You know, there's not a ton of like getting up to speed on that side of it. So you got depth. And I think if you end up signing one more, that's when you start getting the maybe the X rumor start like really heating up, you know, on that point in time. So maybe it's a balance of, do you want to keep your room as is? Or you're trying to bring in talent, but you're going to lose somebody else. You know, maybe it's a bird in the hand situation for Oklahoma over on the running back room. But I will agree with you. The linebacker position is concerning unless Oklahoma has gotten some word about NFL departures or maybe status of NCAA waivers for some linebackers on there. Talking about Kip Lewis and Owen Heineke, respectively. I would assume if they do adopt the 9-game redshirt rule, that Owen would sue for another year based off that. And my assumption is he would win fairly easily at that point.
Yeah, does that go to 9 lacrosse games too? You know,
yeah, right. Just like with a Trinidad, when it turns out NCAA like removed some of his former coaching staff statements about his health being a factor into him not playing that year at Ferris State. So I think Trinidad has a decent chance of winning at that point in time as well. But Alan, same question to you. I mean, how do you feel about the class so far? I mean, Oklahoma isn't being massively aggressive in the portal, which I think you and I would agree is probably the best way of treating the portal. You know, they're filling in their depth. They're getting players, rotational players and starters in some positions. But how do you feel about it? What remains on the shopping list for you?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a case where they're using the portal to really kind of round out the spots where they need, you know, more depth or what have you. You guys we've already talked about linebacker. That's just it's a glaring hole. And you know, my understanding is that the linebacker they picked up from Michigan is a depth piece at the moment. He's not maybe quite ready to be the starting middle linebacker. With that in mind, you know, other than, I mean, you know, look, you can always use beef in the trenches. So, you know, if they had spots there, if they have anybody that they like out there who they're intrigued by, you know, bring them on down, right? But otherwise, I mean, it looks like they feel pretty good about the overall state of the team, right? I mean, looking at the personnel, I think receiver, clearly they made some big moves there. Not like the biggest, but I mean, picking up an all conference wide receiver, for example, in Trell Harris, that's significant. So otherwise, no, just find another linebacker.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff too, where I'm just looking at the roster and looking at potential 2 deeps. And yeah, it's linebacker who's playing it. And then like the cheetah position, who I can't even think who would be the cheetah right now.
Reggie Powers.
Yeah.
I guess so on that. But then Oklahoma has had a pretty good job of being a little beefy, even in that cheetah spot this last year, with 2 great success, right? Having Kendall Daniels out there on that side of it, being a little bit beefier and can run as well as play the edge a little bit. This becomes more of a I guess in my mind, more of a nickel at that point in time, or just the three safety look, where maybe you could rotate very easily between a three safety shell or drop him down. And that might be some interesting coverage opportunities for Oklahoma in the future. But I still think they need 1 to 2 more linebackers, and they need a tweener guy who can play that cheetah position a little more naturally on rundowns. It's something that I kind of, knowing that's that position that kind of quote unquote unlocks the defense is something I would need to see get filled. I don't know what you do though. I don't know who you get, who's out there, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, without having, if there are no good candidates for the spot, right? Like then you're starting to think about just alternative ways to play it. That would be my take on it, because it just seems to me like you don't want to go too heavy on somebody who really can't do the job.
Yeah, true. And like I said, the portal window closes this week. I think it's technically all the way to the 18th, because if someone puts their name in on the 16th, they have 2 days to do the thing. So on that side of it, I was listening to the Solid Verbal. They had a portal podcast out where the guy said, I don't know if I expect this window to be the window, because there used to be the secondary window after spring practices. Teams could then look and say, well, we need to do this, we need to do that. It's a secondary shopping window. Currently, that window doesn't exist, right? It existed last year. But what's going to stop a player from just saying, because of reason XYZ, I need to transfer? I know there's a quote-unquote rule involved, but how many rules have withstood the courts, the NCAA at this point in time, to where you may see an informal window open up after spring practice? Maybe keep a pulse on it, keep an eye on it on that side. But a decent light week for OU football. Again, for Oklahoma, we're in the offseason. We're working through this stuff, but there is still one more game to be played. But before we get into that, let's hit up some wider college football stuff. College football expansion. It never stops talking. People never stop talking about it. But it does seem like, according to a report from ESPN, the Big Ten and the SEC are still discussing expansion. I know the SEC last time around was pretty set on the idea of a 16-team field with 5 conference champions and with 11 at-large teams, with the Big Ten really pushing for the 24 teams. So much to say, if I have the reporting right, they would be okay if using the 16-team playoff as like a bridge for 2 to 3 years to get to 24 teams, in which the SEC seems totally against at this point in time. Alan, when's enough? I think you've mentioned it plenty of times on Twitter. If people follow sort of on Blatant Homerism on the X account or Twitter account, you say all the time, there's no good way of figuring this out. Why in your mind do they want to keep putting more and more teams in? Is it purely just a money grab at that point in time?
I assume so. I mean, I can't think of anything else. I mean, maybe there's an idea that it would be better for the conferences might like the idea of having more playoff teams, right? Coaches certainly, I can imagine, would be in favor of that. But no, I mean, it's got to be money. And clearly the Big Ten wants to expand this so that there'd be more inventory for Fox, CBS, and NBC to bid on.
Yeah. That part would be correct. There'd be more inventory for which ESPN would then sublease, right, at that point in time.
No, I mean, there's this... I believe in the current structure of the deal, ESPN, like if you go to 24, for example, I'm pretty sure ESPN would not. I mean, first of all, like there's no way ESPN can really afford to handle all that.
Yeah.
But also, there's no way that I think that there are windows in the contract for how to or outs maybe or something. All I know is that. No, I think that Fox and CBS and NBC would definitely have an opportunity to get involved.
Matt, I mean, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on how quickly we've gone to 4 to now 12 to, next year, if the Big Ten had their way, 24? Is more football? We're good to go there? Or is this just are we losing the plot with the further expansion of the playoff?
Yeah, we this is college football. We're always losing the plot here in in college football, so that's kind of par for the course. 24 is just insane. I mean, come on, I think 12 is already a bit of a reach, but um, it feels like it's inevitable they at least go to 16. I'm wondering who's going to win out in the end, because the SEC wants the 5 conference champs and then 11 at large bids, like, because they don't want to limit themselves on how many teams they get in. And the Big Ten is really pushing for like my math is not good, so it's like 4 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2 plus however many are left, right? And with like one at large bid, and to me that makes no sense. Like, you're gonna get 2 ACC teams in there that probably have no business. At least one Big 12 team that has no business in there. And I don't know. And then you're limiting yourself for how many teams that you can get in there. So I don't know, man. I think I like the 5 plus 11 model. I think that makes sense if you are going to 16. I'm really enjoying 12 though. I'm really enjoying 12. I would have really liked it if it was 6 or 8. I don't know. We are losing the plot, but at the same time, I'm not going to stop watching college football. Like, I'm not going to stop and be like, you know what? They went to 24 teams. I'm out. They had me at the BCS. They have lost me now with the 24 teams. But 24 seems pretty ridiculous.
Yeah,
just because we saw what James Madison had no business. Tulane really had no business. Like, and again, my whole thing too, I've been saying this for a long time now too. The group of 5 needs their own deal. Yeah, thank you, Brady. Why not 6 or 7? Everyone do the little meme there. Just even numbers, Brady. That's why just even numbers in a tournament, tournament style there makes sense to me. But yeah, so I don't know, man. I forgot what I was going to say because Brady.
No. I mean, I think 12 is a really good fit. If I were to make one change on it, is obviously they had the 5 top-rated champions, because conference champions. Because when they did that, there were still 4 power leagues at that point in time. Big 12 is dead, so I could see them making a slight tweak of saying it's 4 and 8. At that point in time, 4 highest rated. Because my assumption is they would. It's like we did the 5 so that one of you guys could get in there, but getting 2 of you in there, maybe them tightening that belt a little bit, and also these payouts. I don't know. I mean, we've seen some of the playoff numbers, and they are either right at or underneath last year's games. You could say it's due to potential matchups, and those types of matchups will continue to happen if you expand the field. Right, potentially, yeah. I guess, because you have more teams with less helmet recognition in the field as well, and maybe you have more teams in there. And as Bud Elliott says, it's a safety issue. I mean, we have to really think about the safety of these teams, and could they get hurt by playing tackle football? I know that was said tongue in cheek, but man, people have really taken off, really, really taken off with that on that side. But no, I think the 12 does have a pretty good set. For us right now, the first year is kind of weird with the automatic qualifiers getting the buys on there. I think this was a good setup. If you go to 24 at that point in time, even though the team has nothing to say because they're so rated, if I'm the 25th team in the top 25, I'm like, what the fuck? It's like you're doing everybody but us. Like, that's kind of sucky at that point in time. Yeah, I guess that's what always happens. It's always those teams on the bubble thinking like, well, why don't we get in because of XYZ on that side of it? And maybe if you don't get in, you boycott your bowl game. But who knows on that side?
Who would do that?
Who would do that? We'll get into that a little bit later. Indiana is changing college football in more ways than one. One of the first way they're doing it is doing a very, very interesting thing where they get players who have very strong 401k portfolios and getting them on the field. And that's doing great for them. But also, if Indiana were to win, it'd be the third title team in a row who've played 0 Power 4 non-con games during the season in which they won a title. Alan, we've seen this. We've talked about it. Not Notre Dame, but Texas made basically the same team. Texas made a big fuss about we played Ohio State and we're being punished for it. And here's Indiana, 0 Power 4 non-conference games, walking their way into a national title, who I would say is, I believe is favored to win this game, or not should be. Is there anything to this, or is it just random happenstance that the 3 best teams in a row played schedules like that? Or do you think those schedules have allowed them to weather the storm via health and player availability to last longer into these playoffs and having a more well-rounded team at the end?
I think that there's an advantage to that for sure. Playing the easier non-conference schedule, not making it harder on yourself, and being able to preserve your your players, your roster better. I mean, there's always going to be some risk of injury, obviously, but when you get a team full of bigger, faster, stronger dudes, it's just natural. So I do think that is an advantage to this, to the way they're doing this. I guess I find it ironic because the Big Ten has complained about the way the SEC does its business for a long time, but now you've got these latest examples here. I think that Indiana probably isn't getting as much scrutiny because hell, it's Indiana, right? Like, nobody expects Indiana is going to go out and schedule that way, but maybe we like. It's also kind of one of those deals where it's like, well, why not expect that? I mean, shouldn't that whole thing be, shouldn't that be applied pretty uniformly across here? But I don't know. I don't think. Was Texas really kept out of the playoff because of losing to Ohio State? I mean, I don't think that's true. So, I mean, if, better teams will still overcome whatever it is that's in their way, whatever obstacles there are to get in.
Yeah, I agree with you on there. I do see how you've really laid out the path for Lincoln Riley there, talking about how it's a lot easier to not play hard games. How brave are we being today? You're right. I think there is obviously an advantage on that, and as you said, these games are scheduled 8, 6, 7, 6 years in advance. I mean, Indiana wasn't Indiana. I mean, Indiana was this Indiana last year. They were a good football team, but they weren't like this team out of nowhere. They weren't the basically the Crimson Tide reborn, but in Bloomington, Indiana, just like trashing these teams. Would I want the University of Oklahoma to adopt a policy like this? My answer would be no. And I would hope that the conferences could come together, or maybe some sort of governing body could say we are now, or maybe the TV conferences come together and say everyone's playing non-conference games. You must play 1 Power 4 game, and those 2 other games go with God. Do whatever you want with those games, but you will give us non-conference games, and you will give us one, just like a TV product, 1 conference game against another Power 4 conference. And then Oklahoma State is on everybody's conference schedule at that point in time for a while. But Matt, I mean, how would you want to see Oklahoma to tackle its future non-cons? And if you are a Keyhole fan, you'll know I've mentioned this before. And also, if you have your internet browser open, do not look at Oklahoma's future schedule, because it will answer the question for you. Because after the Michigan game, they don't really have a lot for a while until they play in Nebraska, I think, in like 5 years. How do you think Oklahoma should walk and should they be seeing this as a point of evidence for an easier non-con? And you could easily argue you're still playing 9 SEC teams. It doesn't really matter what this non-con looks like.
Yeah, I would. To be completely and totally fair, OU did have a home and home with Georgia lined up, and then they joined the conference, and then a home and home with LSU. Yeah, exactly. Yep. And then they joined the conference. So I can see how that
afraid of that smoke. Yeah, we wanted
exactly. Hey, I say play them in non-conference as well. Play them and then don't count it as a conference game. That's how I would schedule these games.
10 12 SEC games.
Yeah, exactly. Play them all. Fuck it. No, I would say, going forward, like you still want to see those matchups, right? I mean, you still want to see like how much fun was it to go like to Notre Dame and beat Notre Dame back in the day, right? How much fun was it to go to Ohio State and beat Ohio State with Baker planting the flag and doing all that stuff? You still want those marquee matchups, but I would still space them out. And on the rest of those years, like, hey, Boston College, are you ready to come to Norman? We'll do you come here twice and we go there once. Those things with Boston College, or I almost said Duke, but actually Duke's an ACC champ. I don't know if you guys knew that. So yeah,
We did
that. But like the Boston colleges of the world, like, hey, hit up some old friends in the Big 12, right? Hit a little not the old Big 12, maybe some of the new Big 12, like a Cincinnati or somebody like that. Like hit some of those guys up, or like I don't mind. I didn't mind Joe C's, like, at least hey, if we have to go to a lower team, at least make it like, hey, in Philadelphia, so like the Sooner fans can travel to a big city in Philadelphia. Like I didn't mind that. And then the one that got robbed is like going to West Point, like playing Army up there. Like the COVID ruined that one, but that one and then the hurricane ruined the Tulane away game. Going to New Orleans. Like I really did like that quite a bit. So I would keep that thinking.
Yeah, Josie did a really good job of making sure the fans had travel games, right? Like these are destinations you want to go to, or these are stadiums you'd like to visit. One that really sticks out in my mind that Josie was able to get on the docket for OU fans to go to. And it was a cool game as well for Oklahoma fans to be able to experience that. Going out to El Paso and playing UTEP, I mean, that was really cool. On that, the vistas out there on that side of it. I can't remember. I think there was like a cancellation or something, or Oklahoma had to do something weird. Going out there was kind of strange. But I do think it would be interesting if the Power Four conferences could figure out something to think about that of maybe we think just for once, even though the TV ratings would be good for these games, just for once think about the fans and say, what type of games would they like to go to? Right? I mean, maybe that'd be cool. Or do we want to keep playing East Popcorn State, win 100-0 on that side of it? I don't know. Hit us up in the comments what you think about that. Should Oklahoma continue to schedule these hard games, go to hard places, and would you like to travel there and check it out? Or is the SEC itself enough on the plate for Oklahoma, or it's just a fan base? I mean, hell, going to OU, going to games in Norman gets expensive beyond just traveling these things. But we do have one more game to talk about, the last game of the season. Not talking about the East-West Shrine Bowl or Senior Bowl. We have a national championship. Apparently, that's being played. This is news to me. I thought the college football season ended, December 19th. But apparently, they kept playing games. Not for sure why. But we have something called the College Football National Championship. Now I'll have to get confirmation on that. It's been 26 years since I've heard that name. Being played against Indiana versus Miami in Miami, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Somebody. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Okay. I was like, I think so, but I'm not entirely. Isn't that the game? Isn't that the stadium they play in?
Yes.
Because they don't have a stadium on campus. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. The Florida, the Dolphin Stadium.
But there'll be the away team for this.
The away team. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that'll be a big thing there for Indiana. Be able to get that in there. Something I learned just very recently: the largest alumni base of any public university. Indiana. So maybe they travel down there and get it done. If I'm an Indiana fan, I am traveling. Trust me, I will be there. There wouldn't be. It'd be all red or crimson, I guess, is their PMYK color on that. I guess my most important discussion here, Matt, would be I want to set the over under at 5.5, and that's a high number. How many times are we seeing Mendoza's aunt on camera?
Ooh.
Over under 5.5.
Over. Those cameramen know what the deal is. They know.
They know what the people want.
They know what people I mean, how many times did they show Diego Pavia's mom in the game?
That's true. That's true. Alan, 5.5 over under Mendoza's aunt. Is there a poly market for this? Probably.
Oh gosh,
Check that out.
Yeah.
What do you think
Oh,
on
gosh.
this?
I mean, I gotta go over, right? It
Gotta
just
go
seems to
over.
be the way these things work, right?
Matt, check that out. See if there's a Kalshi or a Polymarket thing on there. We're not sponsored by it. We are not sponsored by them.
Let me pull up an incognito
Yeah,
private
no,
mode window.
If they would want to sponsor
Yes.
us, I have
Yeah.
no issue there on that side of it.
Mhm.
To get that
No
taken care
ethical
of.
quandary there.
Yeah. We have our title sponsor, Chalk Down Oklahoma. Please go gamble with us just north of the Red River on US 75. But no, seriously, Alan, what do you think about this game coming up? Miami, Indiana. Miami will have a chance to win their 5th or 6th national championship, I believe. Indiana have a chance to win their very first and play for their first one. I'm hearing they've done something in basketball before, but that game escapes me. What do you think about this game? Do you have any key factors, key thoughts, anything that is kind of rattling in the cranium?
Well, I felt like I don't know. To me, I feel like Indiana is the much deserved favorite in this case, even if you're playing in Miami. The way that Indiana is playing right now, and the construction of that team. I mean, it's just I have a hard time seeing the Hoosiers come up short here. There's also, and I hate to bring this up, and it's ironic because he's playing for a national championship, but I mean, feels like the coaching edge goes significantly in Indiana's favor too. Quarterback, I like Indiana also. I mean, it's hard for me to find a compelling argument in favor of Miami here. So I'm gonna, I feel like the Hoosiers take this one home.
Yeah, I'm very similar on that, but I'm gonna let Matt jump in there. Matt, Indiana, Miami. What do you think about this? This is a good, like I mentioned earlier, would be a good college basketball game as well, potentially. But what do you think about this for the title game?
I think Indiana completes the college football video game dynasty mode. They complete it. They take the worst program. Signetti takes the worst program, and he goes and wins the national title. Man, I think for me too, the thing that sticks out a bunch is just that they do not beat themselves. Indiana just is so good at the little things that they do not contribute to like beating themselves at all. And I don't know if I can say the same for Miami and a little bit of Carson Beck. He got a little unlucky with his interception. Ball got batted up, gets intercepted. That happens. But I don't know, man. I'm liking this Indiana team, man. They just kind of go about their business and like, we're going to show up. We're going to beat you over the head for 4 quarters, and we're going to win the game. And it's pretty awesome to watch. I mean, and Mendoza, dude, it's just been so efficient. I mean, he's had a couple games in a row now, has had some short fields to work with, so his yards don't look great. But I mean, was it 2 games in a row now? He's had more touchdown passes than incompletions. Like, it's just they're operating at an awesome level on offense, and then that defense. Love that we've reached a point where they're cheating now because they're so good. And they get a pick 6 or a pick on the first play of 4 games. Like, they're cheating. Just enjoy. I love everything about the Indiana team. I don't like this, turning on this team that was maybe one of, if not the worst Power 5 football program in history, turning it around and playing for a national title and winning a national title. I think the story's just too good, and this Indiana team's too good.
Yeah, I think Indiana, the thing I wanted to mention is Indiana is basically the peak version of what Mario Cristobal would want Miami to be, right? That's the part where I'm like, oh, they're just the better. I mean, they are just the same team, just better. So I'll roll with that. You've got a quarterback who's not going to make mistakes, and also a quarterback that's okay with not throwing the ball that often. You have an offensive line that's taking care of business. You have running backs who are getting the tough yards. You have a really strong defensive line. It does seem like they're both built very similar. It's just that one team is just better at doing it. and it would be so out of character. Now, football, crazy stuff happens all the time, but it'd be so out of character for Indiana to have a meltdown. And I think it would be very much so in character for the Miami Hurricanes to come out and just melt down in high pressure situations, or to maybe not come up large in a bright light, as it's been for Mario Cristobal's basically entire coaching career at this point in time of these big games, kind of not necessarily getting there. And that's weird to say to someone who's made it to the national championship, but that is kind of the quote unquote drawback to single elimination tournaments. The best team doesn't always make it. Indiana's proven that that's not always true. They have made it, but it'll be an interesting game nonetheless on that side. Have you guys seen some of those Mendoza Bradford comps on Twitter?
No,
I have.
that's interesting. No, I haven't seen it, but yeah.
Yeah,
And
if
you see
you
a lot of
squint,
people-
you can kind of see it.
Yeah, you see a lot of people in the comments not know Sam Bradford.
Yeah, that's also true. Like, Sam,
makes
he's
me
trash.
feel-
Like, no.
Makes me feel a little old, dude. It's just
Yeah.
like,
It makes me want to hold Mendoza and be like, don't play BYU. Or just like, be careful with your knees. Don't squat all the way down.
do the Peyton Manning whenever you're about to get sacked. Just fall down.
Yeah.
Just fall down.
Please. Fall down. You pure innocent man. Going on to the extras here. We're going to rapid fire these and get in and get out. Because again, off season, but we're trying to have fun. That's what I love about this podcast, having fun and getting chances for you guys to listen to us. For number one, why does Notre Dame continue to be so weird? For context, Notre Dame full-chested released like a 30 for 30 style documentary about their decision not to play in the much ballyhooed Pop-Tarts bowl game on that side. Alan, this has been somewhat universally panned at this point in time, from what I can see. If you have your marketing head on, or if you're working with like you're doing consulting, you're consulting a firm, is this something you would suggest they do? Or it would just be shut up and let's just back it up until 2026, the football season kicks off?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's probably can't hurt that much, but I don't know what the objective is, right? I mean, talking about deciding not to do something, just whatever, dude. I mean, there is a very strong sense of aggrievement, if that's even a word, coming from South Bend right now. And so I think that, I don't know. I mean, look, a lot of times these things are a case of all politics is local. When a coach is up there saying different things, they're really talking to the boosters, to the fans, I mean, Notre Dame is probably, trying to just make a play here for some support from their fans and boosters, if I had to guess. Get them fired up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, true. It does seem strange to me. It just seems weird to me. Like, it's like, are they going to ask for reparations next because they missed out on playoff payouts, and something?
I mean,
like that?
yeah, they've got about as easy of a path in there now as you can get. You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
they're going to be in no matter like top 12. They'll make that. I mean,
Or 16-24. That's, I mean,
Yeah,
you should be in there
right.
every year at that point in time with
Yeah.
the type of schedule that they play on that side. Matt, does Texas's portal class move the needle for you? You're both getting this one. Does it move the needle for you?
Man, if they had gotten like one of the offensive linemen that they were trying to get, then maybe I'd be like, yeah, they're just put him at number one, and we'll see him maybe fall off the cliff again like they did this year. But I don't know, man. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not a great haul to get Cam Coleman, Hollywood Smothers, and Raleek Brown, like at those skilled position talents to go along with Ryan Wingo. I think the Kalik Lockett kid was a true freshman, caught a touchdown in their bowl game. So, like, I don't know, man. But also, big shocker, Texas has good skill position talent. They've always had that, and they always will. Am a little concerned about that. So we'll see. We'll see. Does it move the needle? Like, yeah, like obviously I'm super jealous that they got Kim Coleman, that they got all these guys. That's no doubt. But yeah, the offensive line will be put to the test, and we'll see if Will Muschamp can, be Will Muschamp of the early 2010s.
Yeah, it's a risk. It's a risk there. Alan, same question to you. Does Texas's portal class as constructed, how much of the needle does it move for you?
Oh, it's pretty good, right? I mean, at the skill positions, especially. I had the same question as Matt. Like, did they do enough on the lines? Like, are there going to be enough guys there to block for all these guys that they invested all this money in now? We'll see. Suggestion here in the chat about Texas getting Seton, maybe, but again, I don't think that he was the first guy on their board, right? I think that part of the thing is, like, aside from Cam Coleman, I don't know if although Texas did get very good players, I don't think they were necessarily getting the biggest fish at the different positions. And so, that part, I think, for them is probably disappointing.
Yeah, and then Texas just had, I think today, another offensive lineman declare for the portal as well. I mean, if they get the Colorado kid, but then you lose another a pretty strong depth piece that you had, it does feel like they're going for, at least from what their writers and their bloggers are saying, this NFL model of like, we're paying for a top end too deep, and we're going. Like, this is it. Like, who cares about the 3 deep, the 4 deep, the 5 deep? None of those people matter because they don't do anything. Or it's like that old was it Tom Moore? Was he the old offensive coordinator for the Colts?
Yeah, when Manning was
there's this. Yes, yeah. There's a story of like, why don't you let the backup ever get snapped? And he's like, well, if the backup's in, we're fucked, and we don't practice being fucked. So at that point in time, yeah, if a college third string offensive tackle's out there, it might not really matter, right at that point in time. So it will be a pretty interesting idea, but Texas is hoping that everyone works out, there isn't an injury, and somehow a bunch of blockers who've never haven't played very well so far somehow get really good. So it will be interesting. It does seem to be built as if an offensive coordinator, is building the roster. To be honest with you, it's like, look how many cool plays I can do on that. Matt,
also, is it not kind of like a? Yep. Is it not kind of like a little, like, I don't know, maybe Sark to the NFL? Like a little. It feels like it's built for like right now and nothing after that.
I did make a post about that where this team is being built as if 2026, like, they got word from someone in the White House, like, don't worry about 27, but you need to win now. On that side, they're building it out as if that's going to be the case. But Matt, this is now the third or fourth national title that will not be won by an SEC team. Can the SEC get its groove back, or is it done? Are we dead in the water? This is the Big Ten world, and we got to learn to live in it.
Yeah, no, it does need to get its groove back. Absolutely, it does. I will say, though, just peeking over at the playoff bracket, if you will, no other conference had to play each other except for Indiana and Oregon in the semifinal, and then to start off, you had OU and Bama against each other. So there's one SEC team out the window. You knew Ole Miss was going to be.
I'm liking this.
Yeah, this is my hair. My pom poms are out for the SEC. Here's my homer take. Everyone knew that Ole Miss was going to beat Tulane, so they're going to match up with Georgia, another SEC team, in the next round. And then obviously Miami's got little team of destiny vibes against A&M, and it was pretty funny that A&M lost. So that was good. But so that's my thing is like, hey, what the hell? Have Oregon and Indiana play each other earlier or Ohio State play each other earlier. So I don't know. There's my conspiracy bias, SEC bias take. There's that, SEC on SEC crime in the playoff that eliminated everybody. You hate to see it, but also Indiana's really damn good, so I don't think it would have mattered.
Yeah, much like when my wife's able to open the pickle jar after I attempt to open it. Oklahoma really should get credit for that Alabama win because honestly, we beat them up pretty good for Indiana.
Exactly.
That was really for us. So really, that should be a half a win.
That was not the same team that played in Norman. That was,
no, that was their Super Bowl when they beat Oklahoma. There's a season ended on that. So good on that. And then I guess last one for Alan here. Is how it shook out. The college football coaches have voted. I guess I don't know if how fast this gets implemented. That players will get 9 games and still be able to redshirt, getting very, very close for 5 years, 5 seasons. Does this do anything for you? Is this like another weird little quirk of college football? Do you think it's one step and then the next step is going 5 for 5? Do you think this is? I don't know what's really pushing this 9-game redshirt thing in your opinion.
It's kind of weird, right? That they would pick a number like 9. I think that it seems like they're trying to, in effect, give everyone 5 years without actually doing that. That there must be a reason why, probably a legal reason. Why they can't, why they're scared to go straight to just everybody has 5 years of eligibility. Could have something to do with restricting high school players from coming in, right? Or number on a numbers basis, but I'm not quite sure. But the idea that you should have 5 years to play to me just seems kind of obvious. I mean, that's, they say that that's now the standard for college students, I believe, in general. So if you're trying to, get some comedy there, then that would be the way to do it.
My assumption is the 9 games they felt they hit on the 9 games for most of the Power 4 conferences to have 9 conference games. So that would allow them to quote unquote, like skip the 3 non-cons and then still be available for conference play at that point in time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Redshirt them after that. That would be my assumption of why they landed on 9 over 4. But no, good insight on that. Good thinking about it. I appreciate both of you here jumping on. I know we've got at this point in time, I hate to say it, the Thunder are up on the Spurs. Hateful. It sucks. But we know how it goes. We know how it goes with them when playing against the dreaded team over there down south. But thank you guys for joining us on the podcast, joining us on the live. We appreciate it. And Jimmy Satterfield, you are right. It will be very difficult to cover Wingo and Cam Coleman. So my solution to that would be sack Arch Manning. Go from there and then figure out how to do the other part after that. But thank you guys for joining us. Thank you much to our title sponsor, the Choctaw Nation Oklahoma. Remember, togetherormore.com. Go check them out. That is my day job. We're able to track if people click on those links and go visit, so I can tell when we have people going and not. So please go check it out. Also, go get ripped, go get shredded, go get jacked over at Kaizen Performance. They'll help you out. New year, new me on that side of it. And boys, it's been crowded in the gym, but I've been very helpful. I've been showing people how to use the hack squat machine. They're like, what's this? They're coming to me, what are you doing? What's this thing? I'm like, it's a hack squat. Let's go. Let me show you how it works. Trying to be the elder statesman. I've actually adopted 2 gym guys. They call me the Mr. Miyagi, which makes me feel so damn old. But enjoy yourself, New Year and me. Go work out. Go have fun. Go to ChoctawNation.com. And again, support us on Patreon. Like and subscribe. Leave comments. Leave reviews. Check us out, KeyholePod.com. For Alan, myself, for Brady, for all of our Patreon listeners and all of our regular listeners, I'll sign off as we always do over here. Boomer!
Suit up.
He did it.